Remember Adam said that we need a jingle. Howdy everybody, and welcome to the Praise the Pickle news.
The new news.
This is the Praise the Pickle podcast where we talk about video games, and this particular episode is about the video game industry news and what's been happening over the last week. And this is the place to be for your news. So ignore GameIndustry.biz, ignore IGN, ignore GameStop. We have the inside scoop, okay? all of these places. They come to us for our news, to be honest. We're just really nice and we give it to them. So I am your host, Mr. Benjamin Watts, and I am joined by Mr. Daniel Watts.
Hello.
Hello. And I'm also joined by Mr. Kevin Hart.
Hello.
Hello.
I hate you so much.
I love it every time.
I know, it probably grinds his gears, doesn't it? I love it.
Yeah. Do you want to know something that I thought about the other day? Now this is it'll either blow some people's minds, or I'm gonna sound like the most stupidest person in the world. So it'll probably be the latter.
Okay, yeah, more than likely, that's what I'm expecting.
But it sounds really stupid in my head now, thinking about it.
Go on.
But news is like the new things, but like plural, because it's lots of it. It's all the new things that are happening. I don't know why the other day that it just came to my head, and I thought to myself, is that why they call it news? Because they're new. They're updating you on it.
Wait, is that what news means?
Well, I'm guessing so. Because it's new.
I mean, I've never really thought about it, you know?
No, you don't think about it, but it was just, when I was listening to the last one, I was just thinking to myself, it's all the new stuff coming out, that's why they call it news, isn't it?
Is it short for news stories?
New stories?
Yeah, news stories.
Oh, maybe.
Hold on.
Ben is looking up the origin of the word news.
Yeah, because I heard it stood for something, but then it turns out it isn't. Because I heard it...
What a lovely story.
I heard it stood for new events, weather and sports or something.
Oh.
Fuck you!
Someone probably just absolutely wrecked you.
That's a good abbreviation, though. I like that.
It is, yeah. But
what's this
I
news?
can't believe it was...
What is this article I've just gone on to, man? Fucking Metro. Why is news called news? Where's the answer? You've just told me the incorrect things. Anyway.
Where were we?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the latter wasn't so true then.
It wasn't. No. It didn't blow my mind because I still don't think that's correct. But but maybe it is just news stories.
Got the cogs whirring.
Yeah. Anyway,
let's get on to the new stories.
The new stories of the week. I'm going to start with a little dig at Dan. Dan, remember the game from a few weeks ago that we were talking about, and you were like, "No, it's going to be really good, man," and you were like raving about Bleeding Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Metacritic scores have come out, and it's got 5.5.
That's. I mean, that's only 1.5 below average.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I was correct that it is bland and shite, and all the reviews say the same thing. It's trying to be something it's not. It's simplistic, and there's no... It's just shit, basically. And there you have it. I was right, Dan was wrong. We can now move on to...
Makes a change.
What do you mean? Oh, we can move on to Dan's news now. Continue.
Newsman.
Go.
Enter.
The score's going to go up. It's going to go up to a 10 by the end of next month.
Oh, is that the news?
That's the news,
Yeah,
yeah. Dan doesn't actually do news anymore, he just makes predictions.
So this is what might happen soon.
Yeah, I'm like the World Cup Octopus.
The what? Sorry.
Context, man. Context.
The World Cup Octopus. You must remember that.
I mean, I haven't met him personally.
No. There was this whole story about the World Cup a few cups ago, where they had an octopus predicting the results by like holding balls and stuff.
So it's a magical octopus.
Somebody ate it. Yeah.
Somebody
I'm
ate
not making
it?
This
the
up.
octopus?
This was like headline news.
Are you sure it wasn't in one of your strange lucid dreams that this happened?
The World Cup Octopus was a thing. It had a name. His name was Paul. Paul the Octopus.
His name's Paul.
Why is this such a surprise to you?
Is that a joke? You pull the octopus?
He was an octopus used to predict the results of the Football Association matches. Accurate predictions of the 2010 World Cup brought him to worldwide attention as an animal oracle.
Okay.
That's me. Anyway, history lesson over. On to the news. So last week we spoke about GameStop in the US. I think it was last week. They were stubbornly refusing to close their stores down because they said that they were essential retail, basically playing on the fact that they sold keyboards and mice to people that might be wanting to work from home. They have since shut their doors, but at the moment in the UK, Game is essentially doing the same thing. They've shut all of their arenas, their Belong arenas, which for those of you outside of the UK are basically little LAN setups you can go and play games with your friends in.
About time they did that, at least.
You can hire them out, whatnot. Say that again.
About time they did that, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're a bit late on that, but of all the places to go during an epidemic, I think a place where you share mice and keyboards with people, it's not ideal. However, they're keeping their stores open. They're saying that the statement says the welfare of our employees, players, and communities is paramount, and we recognise that these new measures help to protect that. But having said that, they're still keeping all of their shops open, and people are very upset.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I mean, now it's a bit more because it's local. We can have more of an opinion on it. The government have quite literally said that no. Do you know what I mean? Like they've even the statement literally said like everywhere needs to close, including electronics shops. Because when they said it, I was watching it with Charlotte, and I was like, that maybe that's in response to other places in other countries saying that they're essential. Like the GameStop sort of thing, saying that because they sell electronics, they're essential.
Yeah.
Maybe that's in response to that. So they even specifically outlined that it was due, not electrical shops do not count as essential, and they're still doing it. How? Why?
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm surprised that this didn't. I mean, I'm assuming both of you heard the story with Sports Direct that they wanted to stay open, and they basically just got slated online about wanting to stay open, so they ended up closing.
They had
I'm
to
surprised.
go to Parliament and give a statement as to why we're essential and why we need to stay open.
And they failed miserably.
Yeah, not surprised.
And it's the same with Game. Well, it's the same with this. Yeah, it's just like. Just close, man. You just don't need to be open.
Well, the same thing applies.
Is obvious.
Yeah, the same thing applies to what we said about GameStop, is that they are literally on death's door. If they close, they're fucked, essentially. This could
3
easily...
months of no retail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're clinging on by the fingernails every month, by the sounds of it anyway. Like, if they have to close for 3 months, then there's no way of them coming back. They've already been in administration twice.
Maybe this is their calling to, like the world is saying, Game, just give it up, man. It's your time.
Just go.
just go quietly. Just pack your bag and your little desk and put your picture frame in your box. And just exit slowly.
Such a good painting. I love it.
It's clearly the end of the month, but it does just piss me off though. Like, it just pisses me off. It's so fucking dumb. Like, you're staying open for argument's sake. Well, what were you going to accomplish by doing this? Like, everyone is on lockdown now anyway. What are you accomplishing?
Yeah, well, if anything, they're losing out money because they need to pay their employees and they can't even pay them for free.
Yeah, well, they'd be better off just sending their employees home and being like, you ain't getting paid like every other fucking company's doing, so... Yeah.
Well, they would get paid, but...
No, not necessarily from them.
Okay, well, yeah, 50, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how the whole employment, the salaries are being covered. I'm not sure how they've worked that all out, or what contracts they're on.
I had a massive presentation meeting today, about an hour and a half about it all, so...
Oh my god, that sounds almost as good as this podcast. I'm going to move on from that onto another little bit of coronavirus-related news, slightly so. Or heavily so. Sony are slowing down the game download speeds in Europe to help with internet stability.
Yes.
So basically, in the UK at least, we have pretty ancient copper phone lines which run most of our broadband here, and it gets clogged up pretty easily. You'll find that the speeds will drop at 6 p.m. and I'm sure it's the same in most of the world, but basically because everybody's at home at the moment, they're experiencing massive bandwidth bottlenecks. So yeah, they basically said that the gameplay experience will not be affected at all, but downloading games from the store might be a little bit slower than usual. So all you people with your nice big Modern Warfare update this week, good luck.
Oh. I was just, I went online. I was like, it's not really related to this now, but I went online. I was like, you know what? I had a bad few games yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I just fancy playing a little bit of COD before recording tonight. Load it up, and I go, oh, there's been a patch. I wonder what they've changed with Warzone. So I click on the patch. They've got a new map in multiplayer, and I was like, it's pretty cool. Like a good new map. I like it when it's free. I'm a fan. Go to Warzone. They've added 3 guns, I think, and fixed 2 bugs. And then I was like, okay, cool. Couple of new guns that you can pick up out of loot boxes and shit, which is quite cool. And then go to update it. 180 gigabytes update.
That is as big as the game.
That is literally the whole game. They've wiped it off
the
my
game
hard
is
drive
big.
and said, nah, you need to install the entire thing again. I'm like, excuse me? So, yeah, it looks like I ain't playing that for another week, especially with these bloody slow-ass internet we've got at the minute. 180 gigabytes, man. The guys are bloody mental. I've never come into contact with a company that just has such piss-poor, optimization, It's just insane.
I mean, I'm not sure if you've played a game called PUBG.
Yeah. But that's gameplay optimization, isn't it? Not just fundamentals like patches. It's been something that's been in games for fucking donkeys. Get it right, man. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean the game itself is quite well optimized.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah.
Considering it runs on all platforms at pretty much 60, but
the game is optimized, but you just need to get patches right. How do they do it so badly?
Yeah, I don't understand why you need so much data. I really don't. Anyway, we're tangenting a bit, but on to the next one. I haven't really got much news this week, just to warn people in advance.
Sure,
you can probably see the episode length's going to be a bit shorter than usual.
It's been a
but
slow week,
anyway. It has. The next one I've got is that you've probably heard of Dreams. We've spoken about it on the podcast. Media Molecules Dreams, for those who don't know, is a game engine turned into a game, essentially. It's on the PlayStation. It allows you to use the controller to make your own games and your own characters and models and all that kind of stuff. Some of the first things that people saw when they went to browse the Dreamscape and play people's creations were essentially non-Sony IP based characters. So you'd see like Mario games, you'd see lots of Sonic games, lots of Doom games. And we all know what Nintendo were like when it comes to
their IPs.
People using their IP without permission. So
wait, let me guess. Are they sued them yet, or are they calling for all of the Mario-ish content to be deleted?
I don't think they're not quite. So Media Molecule a little while ago put out a statement saying that at some point soon, people that use Dreams will potentially be able to make money from their creations. And as soon as they said that, Nintendo have come out of the woodwork. And
hello, you called?
Slither towards the hello. We haven't got any games coming for the next 10 years, apparently, so we need money.
I don't think they're suing. It's just a takedown notice for a couple of users, so it's not directly at Dreams. But what happened is Nintendo contacted Dreams, or Media Molecule. No, sorry, they contacted Sony even, and said this user who is using Dreams has made a copyright infringing character or game. We need you to ask them to take it down. So Sony sent the copyright claim to this particular user in this case, although the copyright claim came from Nintendo. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sony basically forwarded it onto their user, because Nintendo didn't have the user's details to get hold of them directly. But the guy basically posted it on Twitter.
Of course.
And there was, some back and forth about it. He considered it to be a bit of a slap on the wrist. He gets it. He's like, yeah, totally understand. I mean, Nintendo is as big as they are, and their most valuable asset is their IPs, and that's kind of what's made them this big. So I can understand why they're so protective over it, especially when they only have a handful of IPs and characters. If other people started using them willy-nilly and making money out of them, I do kind of get it. Maybe they're a bit heavy-handed with it, and maybe they're a bit harsh sometimes.
I get it, but if you're making it on you're making it on a completely different engine, and I don't understand where the copyright is. Like, what have they copyrighted? Plumbers that wear red.
No, it's an exact copy of their character. Like, if you look at it, the way it moves, the way it plays, it's basically
I've seen is it the Mario 64 one?
I think it was that
one.
Yeah,
I've seen it. Yeah, but it's not. But do you know what I mean? Like, where is that line? I don't understand.
The line is when they copy the character.
Yeah, but
if you made like a parody of a character, it would be fine. Or there's obviously what they call what's the word? Fair usage, I think they call it, where you can take somebody's content and that's it, or use a very small amount of it, and that's okay. But when you're copying everything from the model, to a pretty close degree, and the gameplay and everything else, it's like, I mean, for one thing, I don't really get it personally. I'm like, if you're gonna make something, why are you making somebody else's thing in the first place? I kind of get the appeal, but why don't you just play it safe and just give him an upside down moustache, or make him wear a different colour, or just change.
Yeah, but they'll probably still
him.
have a problem with that, wouldn't they? That's
I don't
what
know.
What I mean is, like, I thought copyright was on the data, if that makes sense. It's okay.
No.
It's kind of like the whole concept of 4-chord songs. When there's been the last however many years, there's been all these copyright claims between all these different artists saying you've copied our song, and then you actually look into it, and you can't copyright noise. You can't copyright music unless it's.
What if?
But then you can at the same time if you copied the exact same song with the same intonation and the same speed and the same thing. Then I guess you could. I don't understand where the line is in these things. Like,
I mean, in that case, Ben, why can't you just go onto a music making program?
Yeah.
And make the exact same song as someone else, and put that on your YouTube channel as a song, but you're not actually using that exact song because you just made it yourself almost.
Yeah, I'm not using their data. I'm downloading it from them and re-uploading it. I'm making it myself, but
Yeah, and
I see what you mean.
just because you're making this game or making Mario in a different game, just because you're using different material, doesn't mean it's not the same thing.
Yeah, I don't understand copyright law, and I don't understand where the lines.
I mean,
are.
hopefully you'll never have to need it. So, you know,
Yeah.
unless you want to get into it, then yeah, go for it.
Copyright law is like a massively specialist, complicated subject, obviously. So we're never going to be the experts. But the thing is, Nintendo have never been harsh on things like fan creations. Like, make all the fan art you want, make models, make your own toys, you know, do anything you want with Mario as a character. You know, get him tattooed on your body, anything. But as soon as it becomes an imitation of their product, as well as something that you could potentially make money on, that's when they start to step in. That's why they're putting their foot down. They did the same thing with a lot of the old the Pokemon and Mario hacked ROMs that you could get online.
Yeah.
So you could download and emulate games. People would make their own versions and tweak them and download the files, change them, re-upload them again. They stopped a lot of that as well because the websites were getting revenue money and there was financial stuff involved. Whereas if it was a completely free open source market, I don't really think they would care that much. It was only when Media Molecule said there's potentially going to be money exchange in the future, they're like, let's get our foot in there early and make a point of saying that you can't be doing this. And to be honest, I think it encourages originality and creation as well. I see why people might want to create something that they're a fan of, like an exact replica.
But I mean, I guess the main issue, not an issue, but the main thing is, like, it's not like it's difficult to get. It's not like you can't really call it like a cult classic. Do you know what I mean? It is a classic that everyone knows and everyone has played, and it's not difficult to get a copy of it at all. Like, I understand if you really wanted to recreate, I don't know. Okay, but Panzer Dragoon, for example, that came out today, didn't it? So if you wanted to recreate the original version of that because it's not as easy to get a hold of, sort of thing, I can understand that, but I just can't understand why someone would want to recreate Mario 64 when it's already so easy to get and still really playable. You know, it's not like it's.
I think in this case, it's more of a showcase of skills. So rather than going through the creative process of coming up with something original, they're just saying, what can we do with this tool? Can we create something that took a whole team of developers years to make?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Just a decade ago, they're saying, look, can I do this with a team of 2 people with a PlayStation controller? So it's kind of making something that people are familiar with, so they have a frame of reference.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's just frustrating. It's a thing as well, though, because I mean, these people are obviously quite creative. They took time into making this, and then Nintendo come across and be like. And they're basically taking their like lolly away.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're enjoying this lovely lolly, and then you're making a baby cry kind of thing. You're just taking this toy away.
Yeah.
So interestingly, the way that they've done it is, so that the person that created this dream in the first place, he can no longer access the original one. But he can remix it. So there's a system in Dreams called remixing where you take somebody else's creation and add stuff to it, or take stuff away, or reanimate it, make your own iteration of it, basically. He's still able to do that with his original creation, so they haven't deleted it, they haven't removed it from the system. And the original one has also been, access has been barred to it from other people's accounts, so you wouldn't be able to find it anymore. But it doesn't mean that he can't take it, change it to
upside down moustache.
Navigate away from that copyright. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and re-upload
I mean,
again,
to be fair, I do like hating on Nintendo when it comes to law stuff, but it makes sense. This stuff, you know, like it's not like the Pokemon one. Where remember they were going to hunt down the people that leaked the Pokemon. It's like guys, chill, please.
Yeah. Anyway, there's that. Dreams is looking like a very interesting place to watch in regards to copyright at the moment. I have no idea what's going to happen there, but Nintendo have made the first move, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, Nintendo would. I mean, like you said, Nintendo are particularly precious about their IPs. I don't think many other companies would care that much, if I'm honest.
Now that Nintendo have done it, that might change, but I think we'll have to see. Anyway, Epic Games is going to publish games from a few well-known studios. One of them is Playdead, who made Limbo and Inside. The second is Gen Design, who made The Last Guardian. The third is Remedy, who made Max Payne, Alan Wake, and Control.
Sorry.
I know you do that. So basically, they've acquired all of them in a publishing deal. Each of them are working on new products or new projects, and they will be published directly by Epic. So in terms of what that means for Epic exclusivity on the Epic Store, we're not really sure yet. I don't think they've limited it to PC per se, so the games will likely be cross-platform still. But on the PC side of it, at least, we might see exclusivity.
I mean, I think Epic know how much hate they get when they make things exclusive. So if they're publishing, they're probably better off just sticking it on everything, to be honest.
No,
I feel like Go on, Kev.
I was going to say, I feel as if Epic, they've done one good thing in their life, and ever since Fortnite came out, everything they've ever done has just been not very good. People haven't really liked them. Their store's crap. No, their exclusivity's crap.
That's just the PC people hating on them, man. Like PC have a little. Everyone that plays on PC is in cahoots with Steam, basically, and anything else that pops up, they're just like, nah. What you doing, man?
Yeah, but I'm not in cahoots with Steam, but their store is dire.
It's not dire. It's not terrible.
It's so. I mean, compared to every other one that you're on, it's terrible.
Man. It's like.
Name me a better one.
What?
A worse one. Sorry.
Origin, 100%. Origin is piss poor. Battle.net's fine. I mean, it's not bad.
Battle.net's just a. Yeah.
It's like the same sort of level, really. There's loads of like launchers that are on that sort of level. Bethesda's launcher is.
I didn't even know. I haven't even seen that one actually.
Yeah, that's what I got Doom on. It's emotional to look at, but so they have no scaling on their launcher, so all the icons on the left are like little blurry, fuzzed out things. It's just a horrible. I hate it. Yeah, there's a lot of bad launches out there. I don't think Epic's that bad at all, to be honest. I think it's fine.
And they're adding stuff as well. They're adding review systems and all that.
Yeah, it's like it's still a baby, you know.
Free game thing. Yeah.
Free game thing is good. I like that.
And they're split with developers.
No, Epic Games are good, man. Like honestly, I actually respect them quite a lot for what they do. Like in reality, they're doing the midpoint between GOG, not including the DRM free stuff, the midpoint between GOG and Steam, where they're just trying to take as little money as possible in comparison to Steam.
It's like half of what Steam do.
It's even less than that. It's something like that. Like nothing. It's like 10% or something.
It's 12%.
12%.
Yeah, 12%.
Yeah, and Steam is it 40% unless you sell a certain amount or something. Something ridiculous like that. And like I have respect for them for doing it, and people still rave about Steam. They say, "Oh, it's exclusive to Epic Games Store." It's like, well, fuck you. If you like the publisher and you like the developers of this fucking game that have put 10 years worth of their work into it, like, just buy it on Epic and stop being a little baby about it. And if you're that bothered, just get GOG Galaxy and you get it all on the same thing anyway. It doesn't bloody matter. It's nothing. You by buying a game on Epic Games Store, if it's the same price on Epic Games Store and the same price on Steam, you buy it on Epic Games Store, you're a £40 game, you're giving the developer an extra £12. Like, that's the sort of money you're talking about. If you buy it on Steam, the developer loses out on £16? Yeah, £16 per purchase, which is just insane. Like,
yeah, I agree. And it's the, as you say, it's the circle jerk of having Steam as the only one for so long, and then this new person coming along and trying to knock them off a bit. And people like to have all of their games in one place, so I can understand that argument to a degree. Like, it has always been nice for people, although they're digital, to have their account and all of their games assigned to that. So I can see how this spreading out of stuff is upsetting people a bit. But I think that's died off, to be honest. I think that's starting to slow down, and people are starting to be like, you know what, it's not that bad, actually. I don't mind having...
It's because it isn't bad.
Epic. It's not, and Epic have some good games that Steam don't have, and that's kind of how they can justify taking such a small split, because they're making the money back by making their games exclusives or timed exclusives.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think respect's a strong word. It's business. They're just doing business. I don't know if it's respectable and kind or anything like that. It's just.
I think it is. I think it is because you can't. They could have done 30%. They could have done 20% of revenue. You know, they didn't have to go down to 12%. Like, if they did 20%, it's still half. It's still very good.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's out of courtesy for the game designers per se. I think it's more. I mean, that number came about when Steam was already under fire in the press. It's almost as if Epic stirred that pot.
There's always a joke about Epic. They always come out after they come out of the woodworks and make a statement whenever another company is getting berated for something. So whenever another company is like, I don't know. Okay, Nintendo, for example. If when Nintendo said, "Oh, we aren't doing any more refunds," Epic would just sort of like sliver into the news and just be like, "Oh, we still do them. Don't worry." Like, they do it all the time, man. It's so funny.
Just turn to Kermit the Frog. He comes up and
yeah. So basically, Kevin, you're wrong.
Anyway.
Epic Games Store are good. Move on.
No, that's good. Thank you. You told me a lot. The only things I was going by was for the fact I'm not too keen on their browser personally. And also for the fact that they've thrown so much money into exclusivities and that. And I mean, even that Borderlands exclusivity ended so quickly. It's already on Steam, isn't it?
Yeah, but most people that buy games that they're hyped for want to get it within the first couple of months. Like if Resident Evil 3 was on, Epic Games Store, I'd buy it day one on Epic Games Store because I don't care. It means I have to launch another browser, but that's the period of time you want that exclusivity. That's the point. That's the reason timed exclusives exist, is because that's the period of time where you're going to sell the most, so you want people to buy it on that platform.
Yeah, I get it.
Good.
Well, so what was the initial point the news point you made? Sorry, I completely forgot what it was.
So Epic are going to be publishing some new games. From each of these studios, from the looks of it. They're pitching the deal as a developer-first approach. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do care about developers. Aimed at giving the studios financial support without taking away any creative freedom, which is great. The company said the developers retain full control over their intellectual property, while Epic covers the cost of all development.
Sorry, you said control again. Made me feel sick.
God, I was like, what? Any profits will be split 50-50. That's interesting.
That's quite a big split, isn't it?
That's pretty good for a major publishing deal like this when they're going to cover all of the expenses. That's
what I mean. 50% on the developer side is mad.
That isn't bad at all, especially for pretty well-known studios who are likely to make a fair amount of money anyway. I mean, Playdead, I can't wait to see what they've got coming out. Limbo and Inside are both.
What's the other one? Playdead.
Gen Design, who made The Last Guardian.
Oh yeah.
And then Remedy.
Oh, it's good that they got Playdead and Gen thing.
And Remedy.
No, just Playdead and the other one.
Alan Wake was
good. All right, if they go back to their roots, but unfortunately, everyone seems to like Control, so that means that's the formula they're going for.
Control number 2.
Yeah, it could very well be. And in fact, Remedy have said a bit more about what they're making. There is the first project they're making, so there's two. The first one is their most ambitious yet. It's a AAA game that's already in pre-production, which is good, which means it's coming along pretty well already. The second is a smaller scale project set in the same franchise. I don't know what they mean by that, whether they mean in context of what they were talking about before, which I think was Control, or whether they mean it's in the same franchise as the AAA game that they've got coming out.
I don't know.
But yeah, anyway, that's cool. Epic publishing more stuff. Yeah.
Any new publisher's a good publisher, in my opinion.
Yeah, competition's good.
Well, it's not even just competition, it's just another person to throw money at developers is always a good thing.
That's true, depending on the deals and stuff they put out. So, Nintendo finally did a Direct. I think this is worthy of news because everyone's been waiting for this for a long time. It was the longest Nintendo Direct drought that we've had so far. People were waiting quite a long time. Every week people were like, oh, it's going to be this week, oh, it's going to be this week. And the thing with Directs is that Nintendo announce it about 2 days before they actually do it, usually, or the day before.
Or they don't even announce it, and it just pops up on the YouTube like this one.
just appears online, yeah. So everyone was kind of wondering what was going on with this, and then we had this whole Corona thing, so people were like, oh no, has it been delayed? Are they doing some other stuff? So they did put out a Direct, but they called it a surprise mini Direct. So it's not a fully fledged one.
They're taking
Didn't have
the
any
piss
big
now.
Zelda games or anything. I don't know. I'm sure they have their reasons. I don't know what their reasons are, whether it's because they haven't got any games coming, simple as that, or things just aren't ready yet, or they've had some delays with all the stuff going on and they've wanted to rein it in. I don't know.
It was so dead. Me and Charlotte watched it and we sighed about 15 times throughout it. It was just dead, man.
It was a bit dead.
It was pretty damn dead. I mean, it had a couple of cool-looking things on it.
The collections are good, but again, they're not new games. It was just the Borderlands, Bioshock, and the XCOM collection, which are all really good collections.
Yeah, that's what I said to Charlotte. I was like, it feels like they're playing catch-up with current-gen consoles. So they're just trying to get all the stuff that's been out on current-gen for donkeys, and they're like, oh, just port everything to our console, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not. I don't think it's worthy of a bloody Direct announcement. You know, like it's just another game that's being ported. Who cares? So, yeah, like I mean,
what else did they have?
They had that one
Marvel Alliance.
Oh, what's that one? The Under the Sea one. It's got a weird name that came out today.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's on Apple Arcade, and the controls on Apple Arcade are terrible for it. So that's the only reason I didn't play it. But it had some really cool sound design and stuff in it, so it could be quite interesting.
Cool.
And the only other good thing on there was that job one. See the job game where you can just that looked wicked, man.
Called Good Job.
Good Job, yeah. It's you didn't watch it, did you, Kev?
No.
It's basically like you're trying to work your way up in your dad's company or something, and you're all playing as like like stickmen, but it's kind of like a free flow sandbox game, but in an office block sort of thing, and you can just basically do anything. Like there's this bit where it's like, oh no, the projector broke in the presentation room. You need to replace it with the one from this room, and then it's like you can either carry it carefully or you can just lob it. it just pelts it and it just smashes down like 3 walls to get to the other room. It looks great, man. I'm gonna pick it up. I think.
Oh, that sounds good.
So, yeah, it looks like a fun like little just fuck about game on, doesn't it? So.
Did you say it came out today?
Yeah. It's out.
Nice. Okay.
I
can't play it because I'm playing Animal Crossing and I can't think about anything else apart from Animal Crossing and Doom right now. So, so good. Anyway, and Bravely Default. They had Bravely Default 2, which was something they seem to be leaning on quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because people that haven't played the first one are like, well, I don't really understand. It looks nice, sure, but
it looks okay. It's kind of got that chibi art style on it, but like,
yeah,
I don't know, man. Like. There's just so many games like that out. You know, just those like JRPG style games, and they all sort of hold up quite well. I think. Like it looked fine. Like it looked, you know, like for example, I was looking at Octopath Traveler the other day because it's half price on eShop at the minute, and everyone's raving about it like it's really good. But then I was looking at it and I was like, I've already got Dragon Quest, and I've got Fire Emblem to play, and I'm like, do I need another RPG, another 60-hour RPG turn-based thing? I don't think so. Not really. There's just too many of them out there now. Saturated market now.
Yeah. So I think generally Nintendo fans, not the best time.
No.
Right now, apart from the fact that we have Animal Crossing, so that's tiding people over. But if you're a Bravely Default fan, as in you like the first one, and you've been waiting for the second one, then this is a great time to be alive, because all those guys are going crazy.
Yeah,
so, hey, good for them, I guess.
But nothing else to add. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, likewise. EGX to Rezzed is reborn as Rezzed Digital. So I don't know if you saw the thing on Steam, Ben.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So basically, it's the same sort of setup as the Steam Spring, whatever they called it.
Steam Spring Festival, yeah.
Basically the same thing. It's all going online. There's going to be lots of live streams. It kicked off today, I think. Yesterday.
Yes.
Damn, I missed some stuff. Whoops.
Which would be Thursday last week when you listen to this.
Yeah, the 26th it started. So, yeah, they're basically going online. Hopefully you can get some demos. I don't know how that's going to work. I imagine it's probably going to be... I haven't really looked at it, but it's probably going to be more of a live streaming thing than a hands-on downloaded demo thing. I'm not sure.
I think it's downloading demos and stuff. It's quite literally the same thing as what the other one was, but it does bring me back to that argument. What's even the point in EGX Res happening this year now? Just seems a bit pointless. Yeah. Like just they need to just embrace the fact that they've done an online one instead. They need to just own it, you know, instead of just trying to be like, oh, EGX Res is still happening, you know. Just accept it.
It is still slated for early June as it stands.
It's not happening.
Early July even.
It won't happen.
But yeah, it won't happen.
No.
But I think they should continue pushing for something like that, because from an indie developer point of view, it's the most valuable, helpful time of year.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
Doing live streams and having player download demos online, it's not the same. Kotaku put out a really good article from the perspective of developers. It's basically an article about why Res is so important for them. And it's not just the nice social aspect of it and the networking side of it, it's the player feedback. Like, to see somebody play your game for the first time without having their handheld or explain to, you know, just let them experience it firsthand, and kind of just to read and see their reactions and the responses and how they navigate through it. That's by far, one of those sessions is far more valuable than 1,000 written feedbacks.
Yes.
100%.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So they need to keep doing that. I think it's still important for indie stuff. Maybe not so much like E3 and big events, but for indie stuff, I think it's important.
EGX Res should happen every year. Don't get me wrong. The actual event should always happen. I just mean this year in particular. Just accept that it's probably not going to happen now. Just from a perspective of players as well. Like, I understand that it's important for developers, but the developers have all put their demos online now, and the players are kind of like, well, what's the point in me going now? I've played it all, you know. So, like, I'm not gonna go again and sit through the carry-on demo again when I've already played it. It's just a bit pointless, you know.
It's true. It's true. Anyway, you got Google launches Stadia Makers to get indie devs on board. So Google has launched a partnership with Unity. They're looking to expand their self-publishing department by giving indie developers the tools and the financial aid and the dev kits so that they can create games not just for Stadia but for cross-platform with some sort of training integrated into it as well. So I think it's basically their attempt at bulking out their library in the next year or two. Again, as we keep saying, too little, too late, probably. But hey, at least they're trying to empower developers.
Yeah, I mean,
put money into it, which is what we said before. They need to put money into it.
I want it to work. I really, really do. And like, as much as I love shitting on Stadia.
I was gonna say, it doesn't sound like you want to love it.
It's nothing. It's just more friendly, healthy competition, and it'll be good to have a streaming platform for people that can't afford the hardware. Like, it's a good thing,
yeah,
definitely. But I just don't. They're just doing it too late again. It's like they didn't have a business proposal written up before they actually released the bloody thing, and then they've all sat down after. Now that everyone's cancelled their subscriptions and gone, right, so what we're gonna do, guys? You know, like this stuff should have been thought out years in advance. You know, like 2 years ago at least, they should have been setting this stuff up.
You don't always know what they're doing.
Well, they just set it up.
I know. It seems like that might be the case, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And I think Dan is right. I think Dan's right that we did say before that they need to throw some money at it, and maybe they had this whole getting a contract with, well, I guess in this case Unity, and throwing some money at some indie developers. Maybe that's that's their target audience now. That they want to get some indie games on there, and it'll be good for us as well. I mean, you can imagine the good like indie games that could come out of this, like with the money backing with Google, if they keep up with their, the giving them the money, because I know Google, they like backing out things all the time as well, don't they?
Yeah. But again, this is, if this was done a year ago or 2 years ago, it would be great. But games take a long time to make good ones anyway. It takes a long time. We're talking a year or two before this happens, and by that point, the Xbox one's going to be out, the Bethesda one's going to be out. All these other streaming platforms are going to be out. It's just going to die. Like it's no,
I mean, they did state that they're not limiting it to Stadia exclusives in this instance. So I guess what it is good for is developers that are most of the way through their development process suddenly getting an injection from Google saying all you need to do is publish on Stadia as well. We'll give you the money for it. We'll give you the dev kits.
Which would be,
and we'll pay you up front. Because we said before, one of the stories we had a couple of weeks ago was that developers didn't have an incentive to publish on Stadia, so they weren't doing it. They're not going to go exclusive there because there's not the audience, and Stadia aren't paying out enough money. But if they do start doing that, especially the smaller indie studios, a big old paycheck from Google,
they're going to love it.
They're going to like it. Yeah, it's not going to be. They're not putting massive money into maybe the more well-known studios that maybe have already sold 1 million copies or whatever. But these newer studios and the smaller ones, 50 grand from Google could be a saving grace for them, and it could really help them out. So I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I know this is a bit of a stretch, but it's just an example that, imagine they put a game on Stadia that was just that good. For example, if Half-Life Alyx was a Google Stadia only game.
That is a stretch.
It is a stretch, but obviously with that game coming out, and the reviews it's gotten, and the feedback of just how good that game is, the amount of people that it could shift over to Stadia, if they
Gate's coming, Kev.
Yeah,
Baldur's Gate 3. That's going to review really well, without a doubt. I wouldn't be surprised
denying
if
that
it comes out as Game of the Year material, or 9 out of 10 sort of thing. But yeah, that's going to be Stadia exclusive on the console side at least. There'll be PC too, obviously, but it's going to be a Stadia exclusive. There's no word of a PlayStation or an Xbox announcement yet, and that people like that game a lot. There's a lot of hype for that.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, okay.
I guess their main issue though is that when you have an exclusive on another console that everyone's hyped for, you have to invest in that console. Whereas I'm going to play Baldur's Gate 3, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to subscribe. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to buy it through their service, and that's it. I'm not locked into Google by any means. So they need to be having like a consistent, outflow of really good games to keep people coming back to Stadia and stuff like that. Like you can't expect one thing to be the break. Like Half-Life Alyx has done wonders for Valve because they've sold all the Valve Index. You have to put money into it like that, and then they can sell all these other VR games for it and stuff. But with Google, there's no buy-in for it. You just buy the game that you want, and that's it. So it's not gonna help that much, I don't think, in reality, because there's no reason for people to keep coming back to Google Stadia unless they have loads of good games.
Yeah, they got Serious Sam and.
God.
The tower building game.
Oh yeah, classic.
Probably Bejeweled soon. Oh, come on there.
Jenga, yeah. I'm kind of bored about speculating on Google, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
They keep changing directions, and every time they should do something. Yeah, they do. They keep you on your toes, don't they? So I don't know. I think we're going to see a lot of change this year. I think we're going to.
Yeah.
I think towards the release of Baldur's Gate, which I think is the big one for them, there's going to be some shifts. There's going to be maybe You get a free copy of Baldur's Gate if you sign up to the premium service. And the thing is, once people sign up to a package as well, like they join Netflix to watch one thing, a large proportion of those people just don't cancel their membership. They just keep it on because it's convenient, and they check in from time to time, see what else is on there, dabble a bit, stay on for 3 or 4 months, and then they've made their money at that point. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't tell you guys that I played Stadia, did I?
You say again?
I didn't tell you guys that I actually had a quick go on Stadia.
Did you?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's mad.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it until just now.
Any good?
I mean, I don't think the setup that I played it in was optimal. I was tethering a really weak 4G signal from my phone. And yeah, I mean, what was I running at? Like 8 megs, 7 megs a second or something, and they recommend that you need like 50 or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was way below what I expected. What it expected even. But even then, although I was kind of playing a slideshow, it didn't feel that bad. Like, I played Grid, I think it is, the racing game, briefly, and again it kept like freezing and stuff because of the connection, but in terms of input delay, I felt like I could quite comfortably play a racing game.
That's interesting, actually. Yeah.
The visuals were actually, even on that connection at low quality, decent. Like, better compression than I would say YouTube has. So in the dark areas, it didn't have all the weird artifacting.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like I was watching a video stream. It felt like the game was running locally, from a visual point of view. Yeah, decent UI, really quick load times and whatnot. Just press a button and you're in the game. So yeah, it was a cool experience. I just next time I'm gonna, once this whole system wakes up again, I'll go and check it out with a faster connection, I think, and let you guys know.
That'd be good.
But anyway, I've only got a couple more things really, so let's get through these. We've got BioWare are apparently hiring.
They are.
Let's do it.
Go on, kid.
I'm trying to find the actual job description.
Do you want me to find it for you?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Oh, here we go. There's more.
But
so basically, people are saying that it's pointing towards a sequel for Mass Effect or Dragon Age, rather than an Anthem-related thing.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't seen the job description myself, so I'm not sure what that's.
Oh,
based on.
sorry. Oh, I'll find it. Hold on. I have got it.
Cool. What is it? Read it
Hold
out.
on. Bear with me.
Well, not the whole job description. But...
The whole job description. Job specification.
This is how you apply.
Good timekeeping skills.
Oh, you know what? You actually fooled me there with that one. That's what you were doing. I was like, anymore?
Willingness to work hard and go above and beyond expectations.
Have completed Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
Oh my god, where the fudge is it?
This is high quality content, lads. Keep listening.
It's a technical director position, and the quote is, the reason people think it's Dragon Age or Mass Effect is, the quote is, open quote, is that a word? Be the most senior engineering lead on the next major title in one of BioWare's most prestigious franchises. End quote.
Oh yeah, I would say that sounds like Dragon Age or Mass
It's
Effect.
got to be, really, isn't it? Like, what else have they got in reality? Anthem.
Unless it's another Star Wars game.
I don't think so. I think if they're going to call it prestigious,
I doubt it.
it's gonna be Mass Effect or thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, but then didn't they do Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be that.
I don't think it's time for another Star Wars. I think they've recently had other... I mean, obviously it's going to be done in a few years' time and whatnot, but...
Kevin, it's always time for a Star Wars. You can release 20 Star Wars games a year and people still wouldn't get sick of them.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true.
You're not Star Wars fans, they're like leeches.
I should replay that, the newest one.
Yeah, I need to play it as well. I was so excited for it, man. I was so jealous when Dan got it first, and I still haven't played it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that would be cool. Another Mass Effect game would be amazing.
Well, the last one wasn't great, was it?
No, but only because they changed. It was the only real reason why was because they changed engines. That was the main issue. They changed engines to Frostbite or whatever it was, and it just fucked up the whole game. Like the facial animations were hilarious in that, man. And
there's that, and it's nothing like Halo.
I mean, no, it's not. For good. Go on, Dan. Last news story.
Last news story, kindly provided by Ben earlier on.
Never have guessed.
So the title of this one is COVID-19 threatens the very existence of the National Video Game Museum. So in Britain there is a National Video Game Museum. Apparently,
my sister does a lot of, well, used to do a lot of work with that.
Yeah, it's linked to the National History, isn't it?
Science Museum.
Science Museum, yeah.
Yeah, she I mean, she invited me to a lot of the game things, like nights or whatever they had, to test out or try games. Or I'd be honest with you, I wasn't really too sure. I never actually went to one, but
the thing is that it's the same thing that, like, when we went to that one in Kent. That, like, if you have the nostalgia for it, it's great. But if not, then you're just playing shitty old games.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's the only one in the country, isn't it? So,
I mean, the only chance you have, like, the only other benefit is potentially quite famous people that go there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're that bothered about meeting famous people, I mean, we might go at some point. You might meet us there. We'll see you there.
I mean, where else are you going to meet the headliners of
EGX?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you ask really nicely, we'll even sign your big toe.
That's really weird. I'm holding my big toe right now.
Sign it, Kev. Sign it.
What?
So.
So they've put out an urgent appeal saying, we need people to save us. They can't keep running without having guests at the moment. They're going to have to shut down, basically, which is really sad. So they're asking for donations. The quote is, "Coronavirus threatens the very existence of this unique place. The UK's only museum dedicated to video games is now under threat. As a new charity which uses video games to inspire the next generation, we have no safety net to help the museum weather the storm. We've had the support of some patrons and companies, but without visitors, the museum is in grave danger. If you care about video games, please donate in any way you can." End quote.
Nice. And I'm guessing you always end on a good news story, so I'm guessing people have been donating.
Well, they said a few people have been donating.
I hope so.
Oh, I thought you would have found out.
No, I have no idea. I literally haven't even read this one yet. I just saw that.
I mean, it's in news articles and shit, so people must be, right? Surely.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of coverage. Yeah, it's got a lot of coverage. There is a Just Giving campaign, actually, which I've just seen.
Yeah.
And I clicked on the link, and it doesn't appear to be
Yeah,
loading,
same.
which I'm going to take as a...
We both clicked on it at the same time.
That.
Like, come on.
Yeah, why?
That's a good sign.
Because there's so many people donating right now that you can't everyone get on and it's crashed your website. Look at that.
Good job, guys.
The gaming community comes strong again. We'll unite in this world.
There you go. That's how close it. Oops, something went wrong. Yeah.
You need to start playing that dinosaur game.
Rich Lou's down completely because he's playing a dinosaur Chrome game. Alright, is that it? You're done?
That's it. Got it under an hour.
Nice. Alright, quickly, we need to end.
We've got 1 minute.
That was the end of our news podcast. Yay! And if you stay tuned, keep your ears, your eyes, and your feet peeled. For our Praise Pickle retrospect episode, which will be coming out at some point this week, where we talk about the games that we've been playing for the week and our first impressions and shiznicks. Kevin, if people want to follow us on social media or just love us and appreciate all the hard work that we put into this glorious podcast, how do they do it, Kev?
They go to Twitter or Facebook, which is Praise the Pickle, they can go to Instagram, which is Praise Pickle Podcast, or they can email us at praiseofpicklepodcast@gmail.com.
.com indeed.
.com
Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Toodaloo.
Pickle Squad's out.